Let's drink apple cider to Valentine's Day, I guess. So this is going to be a little bit of a touchy-feely video. It's an update to last year's, what it was like to be single on Valentine's Day for the 25th time. Like I said, I've never been dating anyone on Valentine's Day, ever in my life. And it's kind of hard, to be quite honest. A big reason why I wanted to make this video is because I know a lot of my audience might be able to relate. And Valentine's Day, really, at the end of the day, it's a really superficial holiday. You're just waiting in long lines to eat dinner, and you receive chocolate and bears and all this type of stuff that you don't need. That's not what love means. There's a 50% divorce rate. A lot of relationships aren't even that good. So there's a lot of just stuff that you could critique about Valentine's Day. But because of what it means, and for those of you who are in my international audience, I just want to give you a little bit of context. Valentine's Day is basically just this holiday in America where people say I love you and they do a bunch of lovey-dovey stuff together. And it's a big day for couples to go out to eat. They eat chocolate. They give gifts to each other. A lot of elementary schoolers will oh, will you be my Valentine? That's a really big piece of the holiday. And for those of us who are single and who don't have anyone to say that they're in a relationship with, it can be really lonely. I'm not going to lie. Actually, recently, there's somebody that I have been crushing on a lot. And I'm I have the hots for them, and my heart is beating, and I want to get closer to her. I want to get to know her. But something happened. I started to realize, as somebody that I'm not going to call myself an incel, it's really bad, but technically the actual origination of the word is someone who is involuntarily celibate, which means that they wants to be in a relationship, someone wants to be, close to somebody, and they can't for whatever reason. For me, I just like to say they get rejected by everybody that they like and everybody that they have the hots for. So every time I feel that feeling of, man, I really like this person. Man, I'd really, really like to be with somebody. Not, oh, they're cool. Oh, I could see myself in a relationship. But no, man, I think about this person all the time. They make me happy. I really want to be with them. For me, when I feel that, it's a combination of hopefulness and despair. Okay. For somebody who wants to be in a relationship but can't be, if they feel those feelings towards somebody, at least in my experience, it's this feeling of hopefulness and despair. The hopefulness is, maybe it won't be like that this time. Maybe I'll get accepted. Maybe she'll like me back. And the despair is this reminder that every time in the past that you felt this way about somebody, they have either just rejected you outright, ghosted you, not been interested, grown more distant from you, or dated you and then left you. It's just this reminder that love just doesn't work for you. And lately, I've found myself realizing that despair wins in that equation much more than the hopefulness. And I've never been right. So I'm always wrong. Like, the hopefulness is wrong for me. And it's painful. But I want to share this with you, especially that if, you're younger than me. I'm 26 years old. There's hope for you. Like, I hope it makes you maybe feel better, maybe. If you're struggling finding somebody that you like, there's somebody older than you that still struggles and has continued to struggle. So, if you're in a relationship, I wish you the best, and I'm really happy for you, and I'm glad that you found someone that accepts you for you. But for me, and for those of us that are single on this day, it can feel really bad. Just that realization that every time you feel that feeling towards somebody, it ends in a no. Okay, now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'd like to talk about some of the good things that I've learned between last year's video and right now. So last year, I was getting out of some very unhealthy thought processes when it comes to women. I thought that women that I was friends with were basically just placeholders so that maybe eventually they'll realize that they want to date me because I'm just so awesome. You know what I mean? And I learned that if you want to be friends with somebody, you need to make a decision. Like, hey, do I actually want to be friends with this person? Because if I don't, then I cannot expect anything from anyone, because that's not how relationships work. The best relationships, romantic or otherwise, function because you choose that person. You desire that person to be in your life to whatever capacity. And that other person, that other party, has that man, I would like to be in a relationship with this person as well, whether that's romantic or otherwise. The moment that one person wants to be friends with somebody, but they have ulterior motives, I'm not actually friends with you, I just want to date. Or if you're friends with somebody and you desire them, but then you end up not caring for them so much, things get toxic. You're friends with someone else and then they don't want to talk to you as much. Things get toxic. Healthy relationships are ones in which both people choose each other over and over again. And I can say thankfully that I'm surrounded with a lot of people like this in my life. And I've also started to respect women more, in the sense of, no, I'm not friends with them so that maybe one day they can realize that they're madly in love with me and start dating me. If I want to be friends with these young women, I need to want genuinely to be friends with them and to have a healthy friendship with them. And if that ends up leading to something, cool, but it's not an expectation. So, last year when I did this with Chloe, Chloe was pretty much the only person in my life who was a woman that was single, that I had as a friend. I don't really count my best friend because we've just been friends so long. And you're watching this, you know what I mean. I'm just talking about, the general woman that I would be really, really attracted to and wanted to date and think I'd have a chance for. I used to just be friends with them so maybe one day we could just be together. But that's not fair, because that means I don't actually value their friendship. I just wanted a relationship posed as a friendship. And I think that that's actually really bad. And I wouldn't recommend doing that, because that can end a friendship really, really fast. And you can end up hurting yourself and a lot of people in that process. And I can say, between last year's video and today, I went from having one person who was friends with me to having that person, losing that person, and now they're back. So that's one. Another person, another person, another person, another person. So these are all people that I've liked, and they're women, but I've chosen to be friends with, and I do my absolute best, not to cross that boundary or anything. But I'm not, I'm really proud of myself, but sometimes I just ask myself, why? Like, how is it that I can be desired so much as a friend? How is it that I work really hard on myself. I keep a job. All my friends love me. I do my best to be a good friend and listen and encourage, and have a YouTube channel that's pretty successful, I'd say. 10,000 subscribers. I work really hard. I try to improve myself every day, whether that's career, personal, whatever. And I just feel like sometimes it's never enough. When I feel that feeling, when I really like someone, it's just like there's that voice that says, hey bro, listen up. I know you like this girl, but let's get real. Like, this doesn't work for you. Like, she's not gonna like you, bro. Like, just get that through your head, bro. When I hear stuff like this in my head, it goes against what so many people have said. Like, oh, well, you're a great person. You're an extraordinary person, You've come from, having no friends and living with your mom and having autism and not being able to support yourself at all and having a 1.9 GPA and being the furthest thing from independent as possible, to being able to live on your own, paying more rent than you ever have before, managing all your responsibilities, paying all your bills, and you work on yourself, and you're working on your career, and you're developing yourself personally, and you're just finding out who you are and all these things. And it's just I feel like in a lot of ways I've lived an extraordinary life. But it's the question is, I wonder if it's that I'm not good enough for the girls that I like, or if I'm not good enough for me. When will I be good enough? If ever. Drink some apple cider on that. Is it possible? Can I improve myself so much that I'll look in the mirror and say, yeah, man, that guy's awesome. I love that guy. He's great. In some ways, I say that. But in other ways, it's maybe I'm good enough for me by myself, but all these girls I like, it always ends in despair. What the heck, man? Every time. It's not that, and it's not even, and here's another reflection I had recently. It's not even that I don't have any girls that like me. I do. If I wanted to date that bad, and I just wanted to just date somebody, I could. But I have very specific like physical preferences, and then beyond that, like I have specific preferences when it comes to, you know, how I want her mind to be. I want her to be really intelligent. I want her to be really thoughtful and understanding. For anybody to be with me, she's gonna have to be really, really patient. So like having someone who's like really curvy and attractive, someone who's really patient, which is patient people are just hard. Like it's just hard to find. And shout out to everybody who's my friend. Thank the Lord you guys even put up with me, because sometimes I can be a lot, and I know I can. It requires so much patience from each and every single one of you. But it's like, yeah, someone who's patient, someone who's attractive, someone who's understanding, someone who like wants to travel and do things and have an impact on people, someone who wants to leave a legacy, somebody who, you know, would like children one day, but wouldn't mind adopting from a foster care. Like, just all these things. And it's just like, I don't know. I might be single for a while, you know? And speaking of singleness, I will say this. There's some positive news, okay? The positive news is when you're single, you can do literally whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can dance however you want. Don't fall on me, bookshelf. What CD was that? Is this a... Oh, Starry Go Round. Yeah, it's a good... Actually, I do not remember this song at all. I'll have to play it after and see. But anyways, it's not about Idolmaster. It's about Valentine's Day. Anyways, you can do whatever you want. You can listen to your music as loud as you want in the car, and no one can say, oh, that's weird. Like, play something else. You just get to do whatever you want. And another benefit is, and this is something that I think a lot of people don't think about, you get to fail and have the consequences only affect you. Okay? So if you're in a relationship and you mess something up, you're not only affecting you, but you're also affecting them and potentially their family. But if you're single and you mess up, like say your finances, or, you know, you have some trait like you're angry or you're super sad or you're like really pushy or something like that. Like if you deal with all of that, like with your friends, what happens is when you find a relationship, you find yourself this not angry, not pushy, and, you know, really thoughtful person. Whereas before, maybe you were this angry, pushy, blunt person who didn't think first before they spoke. You know what I mean? Like, you get to develop all this, and you hurt no one except you and, like, yeah, the people around you, but you don't have to worry about a girl or a boy being like, oh my gosh, like, can you work on this? Like, there's no perfect person, right? There's no perfect relationship, but it's like really cool. Like, if you can kind of start making the moves towards like improving yourself when you're single, so that basically when you're in a relationship, all you got to do is worry about like catching yourself when you fall back into old habits and like go from there. But you've already started the work. You've already identified the problems within yourself. You already know like where your flaws are, so that when you're in a relationship, you can sort of minimize those. And your flaws don't have to affect her as much because you're already working on that. You're already aware of that. So when it comes up, you're like, oh, really? I'm mean? Oh, I didn't know that. Like, let me start. Or let me not start because I don't care enough about myself or improving or you or, you know, like you just get to avoid all that. Like if you're single, when you mess up, that's you, boo. Like that's you, man. Like you just get a chance to like do that self-reflection on your own. Trying to think of what else I want to say. That's mainly it. I know this is like really long and I don't know who's actually going to watch to the end. If you watch to the end, can you like tell me in the comment section? This is like just a rant. I don't think any of this is going to be very coherent. I wanted to make this video because I made one last year. It was a lot more fun and lighthearted, but I wanted to make something so that you guys who might be able to relate at all would be able to see very openly my struggles, so that you don't feel like you're the only one today, because you're not the only one. Now you get to take my experiences and learn from them and reflect on them, so that maybe you don't have to make some of the same mistakes that I did. And at the very least, I don't have any answers for you. Whether you're in a relationship or not in a relationship, I don't have answers. I don't claim to have answers. I believe in opening up and talking about struggles and challenges that a lot of people wouldn't. That's something that I really believe in big time. And I just want to thank you for watching. And I don't really feel like a trash type beat is appropriate, but I will play something in 3, 2, 1. Happy Valentine's Day, guys.